I wanted to give you a quick demo of Lazar Focus 1.1.0 beta that's being released today, July the 2nd. The greatest new feature in Lazar Focus is the automatic activity logging, which is a sort of a byproduct of the main focus of the app. The main focus of the app, if you'll excuse the pun, is to help you focus. So just to recap, you can set up a number of websites and apps that you find distracting. And then when you want to work, you simply click on the focus button. And when you do that, it will close the distracting apps, and it'll also block any distracting websites. So let's just see that in action. I have Signal here, which I've designated as a distracting app. So let's click on the focus button. Signal is closed automatically, and the Twitter down here also automatically went to a quote that will help me to focus rather. If I go to any other sort of distracting website during this focus session, it will also automatically redirect me to a quote like that one. Okay, so in parallel to this focus feature, it's also recording how long I take. So there's a sort of encouragement to get me up to 25 minutes at least. That's not a hard limit. It's just an additional visual feedback to help you with that. But at any point, I can also say what I'm working on during this specific focus block. Well, this is not really a focus block, but that's how it would work. And then when I'm done, I click on the focus button again, and then it will record the duration of that focus block. I can still go back there and say, well, what actually happened. And it will record that in the database. But what's new in this release is the logging. You'll see here that I've activated logging. It's by default, it's off. So you have to activate it if you want to try it. We'll see what people think about this. And what then happens is that Lazar Focus records entirely automatically. During the day, it records the title of the foreground window, the window you're working with, the URL if it's a browser, if that's available, and also the exe, so in the actual binary or the app that you've been using. So in this way, you get very fine-grained recording. It's got a 10-second resolution. So if I switch to something else, for example, and let's say I do spend some time on Twitter for whatever reason, it should actually, there we go, it should record that, as you can see there. And the longer I stay here, it will then just lengthen that duration. So then every day you'll get a super detailed log like that. Let's just go back in history. Let's see, for example, at the end of June, as I was working on this feature. So you can see for every single day, you can see all of the sites and the apps that I use during that day. Obviously, in the evenings, it's more relaxation, but during the day, you'll see more work apps. So here, for example, busy on the Bitbucket website and using my screen recorder and my ID and so forth. And what you also have here at the top, you have the ability to see what are the top sites that you've used and what are the top apps that you've used based on the number of minutes that you spent in aggregate in that app on that site. I can also say, well, let me see that for a longer range of time, and then I could, for example, go back and say, well, let's see from the start of June. Let's see what happened. You can see I spent quite a lot of time in the Brave browser. What's good here is I spend quite a lot of time in localhost 8000. That's usually where I develop when I test sites. What you can see here, what's maybe not so nice, is that I spend a bit too much time on Twitter and YouTube. That's usually after hours though. And Fastmail, which is my, the web client I mostly use to read my email, that's also features up there. But I get all of my stats down here. Okay, so that's a quick summary of what you can find in Lazar Focus 1.1.0. You can get it now from the Windows Store. Thank you very much.